These are times Stewie Griffin was a straight-up savage in Family Guy. Starting with the time Stewie iconically ragged on Brian's novel in Brian the Bachelor. Or, you know, that collection of computer documents that'll be considered a novel if it's ever finished.
Congratulations, Brian. You're gonna be on The Bachelorette.
Really?
So despite his dislike for reality TV, Brian isn't too annoyed he's gonna be a contestant.
Well, I figure I got a few days of free booze and free food before they kick me off. I could use a vacation.
True, there is nobody more in need of a little relaxation than an unemployed house dog. Stewie even questions exactly how much work Brian's been doing.
How you coming on that novel you working on? Huh? Got a big stack of papers there?
There must be a helium leak in there or something, because Stewie's taunting of Brian just gets higher and higher until it's at a frequency that, well, probably only Brian can hear.
Nice little narrative, beginning, middle, and end. Some friends become enemies, some enemies become friends, yeah?
You may think this sounds a little harsh, but Stewie's just giving Brian some ideas. A story with an ending? Why hasn't Brian thought of that? While not his harshest dig at Brian, it is one of the most iconic. Thanks for giving us all a new vocal stem, Stewie.
You got to, no, you deserve some time off.
And Stewie would give Chris a new voice when he hid in Chris's backpack to help him deliver some killer lines to his bullies at school in secondhand spoke.
Your boobs are bigger than your sister's.
Oh yeah? Well, you have a sister as well.
So Chris is having some trouble coming up with cool comebacks, so Stewie offers to show him how it's done.
What would you say if I said, "Hey there, shorty"?
I'd say have another donut, you albino gorilla.
Hey, insults are all well and good, but let's keep the albino gorilla community out of this. Haven't they suffered enough? But when Chris can't remember the ammunition Stewie gave him, Stewie decides to just give him lines in real time.
I heard you were born out of your mom's butt. I heard that from your mom while I was doing her.
It's not exactly highbrow, but at least it has some semblance of being an insult. With their powers combined, this dynamic duo manages to incinerate all comers.
You frequently opt out of swim class because of your gross microcephalic p***.
A knife to the stomach probably would have hurt less than that insult. Stewie may definitely be the king of one-liners on this show, always knowing to hit him where it hurts. And Stewie would try to hurt Brian after he destroyed Rupert, including letting him know how much Rupert didn't like him in Dog Bites Bear.
No! Rupert! Rupert!
So when Stewie wakes to find the carcass of Rupert around Brian's mouth, he effectively ends his relationship with him.
Twitter, unfollow. Instagram, unfollow. Snapchat, unfollow.
Oh no, now Stewie can't get any more of Brian's midday poop Snapchats. And I'm not talking about the ones where the picture's him on the toilet. They're the darker, dastardly second option. So Stewie heads off to the mountains to spread Rupert's ashes, and Brian unwillingly tags along. But it only takes a few minutes for things to break down. There's always gotta be one fight at a funeral. I would never, but instigating it could be fun. So now Stewie has to reluctantly accept Brian's help up the mountain, but that doesn't mean he can't be mean to him the whole way up.
Want to know some of the other things he called you? Fat lassie. Scooby don't. Rin tin.
Okay, so technically those are Rupert's words, but Rupert's words are more often than not Stewie's words, so I'd say this counts. And what a legacy to leave behind. Well done, Rupert. But Stewie would kill any kind of legacy Rollo Brown might have had when he moved to Quahog with Cleveland and he's black.
What's up?
Oh, hey, Cleveland.
Hi.
So Cleveland returns to living in Quahog with a warm, well, room temperature welcome.
Your logo was stupid. It looked like a big purple and your ratings blew.
You know, I never really noticed it before, but Joe might actually be onto something. There are dongs everywhere for those with the eyes to see them. But with Cleveland coming home, so too does his new family. Finally, we get to see what kind of iconic, zany, entertaining hijinks Stewie and Rollo can get up to.
Sup, man?
Yeah, sup. Keep walking, you boondocks ripoff.
And that's the last time they ever speak to each other. Wow, Stewie really killed any credibility Rollo had coming into this town. Maybe if Rollo were more like Huey, he would have stayed around a little bit longer. And Stewie was glad Doug stayed right where he was in LASIK instinct, giving him the chance to verbally teabag his rival while he was down.
Oh look, Kylie's mom is out of rehab.
So when Lois is pulling away after dropping Stewie off at daycare, she feels a funny little bump under the car.
Oh my god, please be a dog. Please be a dog.
Even better, it's Doug. Okay, yeah, maybe we shouldn't be doing backflips for a kid getting smashed by a car, but nobody told Stewie that.
Nice hit!
Oh, and Elsa underwear. This day just keeps getting better.
That's why you gotta be into fashion. Any day could be your last, and I'll be damned if I get run over and not at least be looking a little fly. That's a rookie mistake, Doug. Hopefully you learned from it before that plane crash.
Oh, and Doug died in a commuter plane crash this morning.
And Stewie's Darth Vader would attempt to make Luke crash out by piling on to actor Seth Green and his career in It's a Trap.
Come on, take that lightsaber and try to strike me down, and your journey toward the dark side will be complete.
So the dunking on Seth Green in this Star Wars parody first comes from the Emperor, who is trying to goad Luke into attacking him.
Yeah, I guess that wouldn't get under my skin either. Not the way Seth Green gets under my skin.
I didn't even know they knew about Seth Green in a galaxy this far, far away. He's getting roasted, but at least he can say this side of the galaxy knows about him.
Well, I certainly enjoyed him in Entourage, because in that show he was playing himself.
Nobody talks crap about Luke's favorite actor. They should really call this Stan Wars, right guys? Right, guys? Somebody better say right, or else I'm deleting this video. And once Luke and Vader duel it out, the Sith Lord starts to throw his own Seth Green potshots in as well.
I can always get Seth Green to fight me. He'll do anything for money. I mean, did you see Drive?
I have not, and judging by this poster, I would think a lot of people haven't either. Kinda looks like some bootleg you'd find at a garage sale.
I mean, he works hard, you know? I mean, the work is much harder when you know the project is no good. Still, all those small paychecks must add up.
Good on Seth Green for always being a good sport. I guess that's just the role you have to get used to when you're the show's second favorite Seth. But Stewie wasn't looking to be a good sport when he decided to take over the playground by force in sibling rivalry.
Hey, Brian, you want to play tag?
No.
Freeze tag?
No.
TV tag?
No.
So while at the park, Stewie runs into some pushback when he tries to climb the jungle gym.
No! Jungle gym mine!
Hey, where'd you get the Pete Rose haircut?
Okay, well now you're definitely not going to find out where he got the haircut. I guess that kid was all that was standing in Stewie's way of complete playground domination.
Anyone else want to feel my Weebok in their grapes? Then you'll all do as I say!
You know, I think this was how America was founded. We just made up the whole War of Independence and the Tea Party and whatnot. All it took was a swift kick to the nads and boom, America was born. And Stewie would attempt to give actor Matthew McConaughey a verbal kick in the nads by telling him how much he hated him in Former Life of Brian.
Well, this was a lot of effort for nothing. Like trying to tell Matthew McConaughey how much he sucks.
So this cutaway basically just involves Stewie ripping into the actor, but the happy-go-lucky McConaughey isn't really getting the picture.
You're one of the worst actors in the history of film, and I think that you need to go away.
Oh, thanks, man.
Even though Stewie's really dressing him down, we kinda admire how McConaughey's handling a hater here. Just keep smiling and thank them for being a fan. It might get you beaten up, but that just means you won the argument.
Dazed and Confused was the one thing that was passable. After that...
Oh, thanks, man. That actually launched my career.
I kinda wanna know what McConaughey did that was so bad that made Stewie hate him so much. Was it for that fumble of Stephen King's The Dark Tower books, or for that movie where Gary Oldman played a little person by acting on his knees? Wouldn't say those are all his fault, but guilty by association, you know? The insults are funny, but if anything, it's kinda just making me like McConaughey more.
You suck donkey ass.
Yeah, you can't prove that.
And Stewie thought the best way to make his crush Olivia like him was by roasting her with insults and chick cancer.
You look great. I mean, you're all in shape. My God, California's been good to you.
Well, not those words. So Stewie wishes to reconnect with his old flame Olivia, but she's looking for someone a little bit more mature.
Since I moved to Hollywood, I've done a lot of growing up. I'm dating more sophisticated men now.
Girl, this kid has a British accent. It doesn't get more sophisticated for people your age. If only there was somewhere where Stewie could learn the right words to say to get Olivia to date him.
Keep it down. I don't want my neighbors seeing a fat old dirty screaming at me on my front lawn.
Anywhere else he could look? Literally anywhere else? He could find more insightful knowledge at the bottom of a sewer. But Stewie's takeaway is that women like to be treated like dirt, so he decides to try this out with Olivia.
I'll tell you what you're into. Being ugly.
Stewie, you're being mean.
It's probably the popped collar. Something about dressing like an 80s movie villain just brings out the worst in people.
Your skin has the texture of a decorative autumn squash.
And would you be surprised to hear that these little insults actually worked? I guess Olivia just admires a man's way with words, even if they're comparing you to a pumpkin. But Stewie wasn't trying to win over Lois with his harsh words in Family Guy viewer mail number 2, which we get to see come from his own point of view.
Good morning, Stewie.
You.
So in the final section of this 3-part anthology episode, we get to see a day in the life of Stewie through the eyes of Stewie. Of course, there's no better way to start the day than by belittling Lois.
Is this a dime? Did you swallow a dime?
Yeah, wipe it off and put it back in your purse, you white trash hen.
It's like they say, a penny for your thoughts and a dime for your stomach. And to thank Lois for that little butt wipe, he gives her a little glimpse into his future.
When I grow up, I'm never gonna call you. I'm gonna be busy with my job and my family. You'll be nothing.
Parenting really is a thankless job, but I think if Lois could hear the words Stewie was saying to her, she'd probably be grateful if she never heard from him again. And it's not just Lois, he's got some choice words for people even outside his family.
Hey kid, come here. I want to see if I can still smell your mom's boobs on your mouth. Why don't you go hump a pile of garbage?
Don't give him any ideas, Stewie. I like my garbage to be untraumatized if at all possible. Kinda wish we'd get more episodes like this, so I can really feel like I'm insulting Quagmire right to his shovel-chinned face. And Stewie would insult Meg right to her face after she started acting over-dramatically about her father's diagnosis and P-tarded. So when Peter gets a big head and thinks he's smarter than he really is, Brian suggests settling this by applying to the MacArthur Genius Grant.
If you qualify as a genius, the foundation will give you a $500,000 grant just to sit around and do whatever you want.
Sure, when a genius does nothing, they get $500K, but when I do nothing, a bystander dies from choking. It's an unfair world, I tell ya. And one test later, Peter finally learns just how smart he is.
Peter, according to this, you're not a genius. In fact, you're mentally retarded.
Well, what do a bunch of analysts and experts in the field of intelligence know anyway? So obviously everyone's pretty broken up about it, but perhaps no one is suffering greater than Meg.
I can't believe this is happening to me! I can never go back to school again!
Oh, you've set Stewie up beautifully, Meg.
This is the thing that will ruin your reputation, not your years of grotesque appearance or awkward social graces.
This sounds like it'd be quite the wake-up call for Meg, if only she could understand what Stewie was saying.
Do you hear yourself talk? I might kill you tonight.
And Stewie made sure actor Will Ferrell understood how much he disliked him when he traveled across the country to hit him in Jungle Love.
That's a hell of a lot less than I had to spend to go see that piece of crap remake of Bewitched.
So Stewie reminisces on seeing said movie starring Will Ferrell and getting all bent out of shape because of a joke. But what was the heinous, derogatory, unforgivable joke that got Stewie so up in arms?
Guess what? I'm a witch.
Guess what? I'm a Clippers fan.
Didn't really think Stewie hated the Clippers like that, but here we are. So Stewie hates it so much that he calls a taxi to the airport, books a flight to Hollywood, rents a whole limo, buys a stepladder from the hardware store, and walks right up to Will Ferrell's door just to do this.
Hello?
That's not funny!
Dang, man, I don't think he wrote the movie. But if he hated it this much, I probably shouldn't recommend Holmes & Watson, should I? Stewie might just send a warhead to his house for this one. And Stewie would decide to send a steaming plate of rat vomit to a customer at the family restaurant and no Meals on Wheels.
Well, here's another chance to open a restaurant.
You're right.
So after coming into a large sum of money, the Griffins decide to open up a restaurant, and for some reason, they decide to make Stewie the chef.
The guy at table 7 complained there's not enough juice on his prime rib.
Oh, did he now?
Well, nothing adds a little flavor like a healthy slathering of rat vomit. And Stewie has plausible deniability because rat stomachs actually make it impossible for them to vomit. Don't know how he did it now, but science has his back to prove that he didn't do it.
Tell him bon appetit, douchebag.
And the law would have his back when he got to prove that Brian was a certified idiot in court and moving in Principal Shepard's song. So while out in public, Brian gets recognized for his book. Not the bad one, or the other bad one. Actually, not a book that he wrote.
Flunky the Dumb White Dog? By Griffin Stewart?
Hey, that kind of sounds like that other guy's name. Small world, isn't it? And when he presses Stewie about it, he admits that the books were his doing.
You gotta call the publisher and have these books recalled.
Not a chance, Brian. All I'm doing is presenting you honestly to the public.
In short, you want this to stop? Stop giving Stewie more material to work with. But of course that isn't good enough for Brian, who decides to take this thing to court.
I represent Brian Griffin, who is suing you for defamation.
That's right, I lawyered up, you little bitch.
See, Brian, it's that kind of pronunciation and arm gestures that got you into this mess. But Stewie isn't all too worried about his chances.
Brian Griffin is, in fact, an idiot, and therefore cannot be defamed.
So all Brian needs to do is not act dumb in order to win. Unfortunately for him, that's like asking a fish not to swim.
On December 1st, 1951, Treat Williams was born.
Where's the treat?
Yeah, there's probably a reason we don't have a precedent of a dog defending themselves in court. And it doesn't take long for the jury to reach a verdict.
We have a verdict, Your Honor.
Please proceed.
The dog is an idiot. The baby wins.
Well, probably not the least interesting court case to get called into jury duty for, but definitely one of the more pointless. Stewie didn't want to have to do this to Brian, but the dog just really can't help himself.
Hey, you're back! Oh man, I feel like you've been gone forever!
And when Brian couldn't help but think people would want to read his autobiography, Stewie created a robot clone of the dog just to show him how annoying he is in Bry Robot.
My birthday is it's kind of a reminder that I'm now 1 year closer to death.
So Brian's a bit bummed that he has nothing to show for his life, wishing to one day write his autobiography to preserve his legacy.
You know what? Maybe I can lend you a hand, Brian. I'll help you write your biography.
It would make sense that it'd be written with crayons and construction paper. That's about the intellectual level Brian's used to anyway. But it turns out Stewie has a very different idea of what a biography should look like.
Stewie, what about my biography?
This robot is a living record of you and your history.
So in time, the robot will learn all of Brian's memories and mannerisms, being an eternal reflection of the dog himself. Biographies are supposed to inform people, but all this is going to do is torture them. And after enough time, it even starts to torture Brian.
What? What? I do not laugh like that.
To be fair, it's very on brand for a dog to get mad at its own reflection. And when Brian doesn't like what he sees, he finally realizes the truth.
I hate you! Which means I hate me.
Ding ding ding, that's the correct answer. And I guess Stewie decided to take the most intricate way to get Brian to realize that.
You wanted to write your autobiography, and I needed to show you that no one wants to read your autobiography.
Kinda sounds like one of those things that could have been covered in an email rather than building an entire robot. But you gotta admire Stewie's drive to find the biggest hammer to hit Brian over the head with.
And when you die, the most you'll want written about you is he was a good boy on your tombstone. And even that will be a complete lie.
And Stewie would hammer home how terrible of a writer Brian is when he writes something better than him in Brian's play.
I'm so proud of Brian. It's hard to believe he's the same dog who barked at a pineapple for 4 hours.
So Brian's written a play that actually turns out to be a hit for a change. Feels like it took way too long for this broken clock to be right at least once a day.
The highest praise goes to playwright Brian Griffin for his hilarious and insightful look into modern relationships.
And it's such a success that it even encourages Stewie to write his own play.
Do you think you might have time to read it?
all right, but be patient, all right? I've got interviews and appearances all week.
Somebody should tell him that talking to the cashier at the liquor store does not count as an interview or an appearance. But when he finally does get around to it, he realizes it's not only good, it's better than anything he's ever written.
My God. It's miraculous.
It's also, I'm probably guessing, the first play Brian's ever read other than his own. When that's your only measuring stick, even doo-doo looks like gold. So in an effort to not be outdone by a baby, Brian decides to do away with Stewie's script. But like his own script, it's clear he should have done a better job.
Well, that's interesting, Brian, because I found this buried in the backyard next to your soup bone.
Yeah, it turns out hiding it in the first place most people would look isn't the 4D chess move Brian thought it was. But Stewie knows his play is great too, and lets Brian know just how bad his own is.
It's filled with terrible double entendres, puns, and stolen bits. There's a line in there from Seinfeld.
This is the equivalent of reading a new book that forgot to delete the ChatGPT prompt from it. And to really put this dog in the dirt, Stewie hits Brian with this all-timer of a line.
May every person that laughs at your sophomoric effort be a reminder of your eternal mediocrity.
That's the kind of line that makes you afraid to ever touch a typewriter again. Honestly, you should be anyway. Those old things are most definitely haunted. And Stewie would scare his new friend Hudson by gassing his birthday party after not getting invited in Pal Stewie.
My name's Hudson. Wanna play spin in a circle?
I'm Stewie. Yeah, I don't think What the?
So Stewie ends up making a new friend on the playground, and they seem to be moving quickly from acquaintances to actual friends.
I like you, Stewie. Can I come over for a play date?
Oh my God.
They grow up so fast. They must really like each other if they're skipping over the obligatory phase of just sending each other Snapchats of nothing all day. But Stewie needs to realize that their hobbies might differ a tad. I don't know, Hudson isn't really giving me a big matricide vibe.
I hope you don't use your guns to kill your mom or do anything bad, because if you do, I won't be able to play with you.
So it turns out, all it takes to turn people around from the murderous ways is a little kindness and friendship. Well, this is the first time I'm hearing of such a concept. We better get these findings to the government, stat. But this friendship doesn't seem like it's meant to be when Stewie hears word of Hudson's birthday party, and that he hasn't gotten an invite.
Everyone but me got an invite to Hudson's birthday. I know why this happened. I called him my best friend too quickly.
Forget saying I love you. If you throw out the best friend label and they don't reciprocate, I don't know how anyone can come back from that dark place. But Stewie isn't going to take this slight lying down. So he goes full Rambo, ruining the birthday party and gassing the place so he can speak to Hudson face to face.
Stewie?
That's my name. Don't wear it out. Yeah, let that wash over you.
Honestly, it probably goes hard for a kid who hasn't heard that phrase yet. And it turns out that Stewie was invited, but Brian destroyed the invite out of jealousy. Even still, this was a big wake-up call for Hudson to never get on Stewie's bad side. You want to keep those unstable friends close, but not too close. But when Stewie got pushed too close to the edge, he let everyone know his displeasure with one single all-encompassing word in Stewie's first word.
Let's go, Peter. Time for church.
Mom said they're gonna serve chewy Chips Ahoy at coffee hour.
So all Stewie was looking forward to that day was those sweet and soft cookies. Everything that comes before that is just a huge pain in the you-know-what.
Are you streaming Mindhunter in church?
I'm trying to stream Mindhunter in church.
Sorry, but the angels need the good Wi-Fi more than you, Stewie. They've earned that right. What you should be doing is using your time in church to pray for a second season of Mindhunter.
I hate this. When do I get my cookie? I just want my cookie so I can go home.
Yeah, too bad it's Lent, which means no one's getting cookies today. That's in the Bible, I just don't remember which verse. But of course that isn't gonna sit well with a cranky toddler. You ever been so mad that the only thing that comes out of your mouth is a long censor bleep? Well, Stewie has, and honestly, can you really blame him? Chewy Chips Ahoy is one of the world's finest creations, and to be deprived of them is more sinful than the swear, I'd say. And Stewie would attempt to deprive his new friend Bart of his longtime bully by kidnapping him in The Simpsons Guy.
Eat my shorts.
Eat my shorts. I love that.
So while visiting Springfield, Stewie becomes enamored with Bart and wants to be just like him.
Last name Keybum, first name Lee.
Hang on, I'll check. Hey guys, do I got a leaky bum?
Man, The Simpsons were controversial in their own right, but side by side next to Family Guy, they look like a PBS show for toddlers. But while they continue to hang out, Stewie gets introduced to Bart's longtime bully, Nelson.
I say, how long has that boy been treating you like that?
About 24 years.
Dang, well I gotta say, you guys are looking spry despite your age. What's your secret? Is it whatever turned your skin lemon-head yellow? But Stewie won't stand by and watch his new friend get pushed around.
Cowabunga.
So Stewie decides to take Nelson to a basement for a little fun. Time to crank up the Steelers wheel and break out the shaving razors.
You're a little piggy, aren't you, Nelson? In fact, I bet you're hungry right now.
Wrong answer, my guy. I know this basement looks like your average McDonald's bathroom, but I promise you're gonna be doing anything but loving it. It's just too bad Bart doesn't think this is totally tubular or whatever it is he says.
Stewie, I don't think we can be friends. You freak me out.
But if we don't keep in touch, I'll myself.
So yeah, Stewie might have gone a little overboard, but you gotta admire his drive to give it to that bully, all for his new friend. I'm not saying bullies could learn their lesson if they're knocked out and tortured. What are you waiting for? I said I'm not suggesting that. But when Jeremy didn't take Stewie's suggestion to leave his babysitter alone, he decided to teach the boyfriend a lesson in 8 simple rules for buying my teenage daughter.
Sorry I'm late. Can I still apply for the job?
So Stewie gets himself a new babysitter named LaDawn, who he becomes absolutely smitten with.
Well, this here? Oh, it's just my package. Yeah, just my package.
It's one thing to roleplay in your diaper in front of the mirror, but do you have to do it in front of Rupert? You're gonna make him jealous talking about your next fling. But it turns out LaDawn is already spoken for.
Stewie, this is Jeremy.
Hey, little man. So you're the guy who's been trying to steal my girlfriend.
Well, Stewie doesn't like that. Not one bit. And he proceeds to go on a tirade that falls on the deaf ears of Jeremy.
Ha! I got your hat! Take that, hatless! Now go back to the quad and resume your hacky sack tourney!
And he just keeps going and going and going. He really seems to know a lot about these college bro types.
That is exactly the kind of idiot you see at Taco Bell at 1 a.m. The guy who just whiffed his way down the bar skank ladder.
Okay, but Taco Bell tastes the best after midnight. That's just a fact of life that Stewie will hopefully learn one day. But he's not just gonna let this frat boy steal the girl he's known for like 2 days.
I say, I think this is how you change a tire, but what do I know? I'm just a baby!
I mean, that's pretty close. Someone always gets hurt whenever I change a tire. But while removing Jeremy from the picture doesn't end up winning LaDawn over, it's at least clear that Stewie has the heart of a romantic.
Oh my god, Jeremy's still in the trunk. Oh god, how long's it been? Let's see, two weeks.
It's okay, Stewie. Crimes of passion aren't actually considered crimes. But Stewie would commit a crime when he found out new Brian had his way with Rupert and the man with 2 Brians.
Family, I'd like to introduce new Brian.
Hey, gang!
So when Peter starts to worry about Brian getting older, he gets a second dog to help with the pain of Brian's inevitable passing. It's too bad that new Brian's presence is causing Brian pain now.
I got this new gun.
Here we go.
And I thought we could go deep in the woods where no one would ever think to look.
Well, when it's time to get Old Yeller, that's how you know it's time to leave home. My parents did it to me, and I'll do the same to mine. It's just the nature of the world.
Everyone, I have an announcement to make. I've decided I'm leaving.
So Brian decides to shack up with Quagmire for the time being. I know, weird, right? And as much as Stewie wants to act like he doesn't care, he dislikes new Brian enough to beg Brian to come home.
I mean, he's so damn sweet and saccharine and perfect, and he's turning the family into a bunch of douches.
Come on, give them some credit. They were always douches. They were the sleeper agents, and New Brian was just the trigger word. But Brian refuses to come home while New Brian is there, so it looks like it's up to Stewie.
Hey, New Brian. Bad news. You gotta leave.
Huh? What are you talking about? This is my home.
Yeah, kinda hard to kick someone out who's liked by literally everybody. Peter, Lois, Chris, Meg, Rupert, especially Rupert.
What did you say?
Rupert. Humped him for 2 hours yesterday. He just laid there and took it.
Uh-huh. Say, New Brian, do you prefer your tomb to be Hefty brand, or are you cool with the store brand? Sometimes you don't even need a witty or brutal one-liner. Actions always speak louder than words, and this action was the equivalent of a bomb going off. And speaking of which, Stewie would imagine a hypothetical future where he got to explode his family after they tricked him in rich old Stewie.
Stewie, Peter is dying.
What? Oh my god, that's awful!
So in this futuristic episode, a wealthy Stewie decides to return home for the first time in decades after the news of his dad's failing health. Kinda surprised Peter even made it this long. If Stewie's at least 40 or 50, that means Peter's like 100. Maybe heavy drinking is the key to a long life.
Oh, Pop, I am so sorry I abandoned you all. I never should have left home. What can I do?
Peter's dying wish to Stewie is to have him use his millions to help take care of the family. I guess it's only fair for all the psychological torture they've caused over the years. And with that, Peter speaks his final words.
Lactating, pregnant, Latinas.
Words that I think will resonate with us all. So with Peter dead, Stewie goes to move his money to the family, leaving them to grieve over Peter.
We did it! We got him!
Ah, the old fake your death to get your son's money trick. Actually, this might be the first time someone's done that. Look at Peter still being crafty in his old age. But it seems Stewie was aware of this, so he left them a parting gift.
Chris should be lighting his cigar right about...
Man, family infighting sure does get silly. And while you may be shocked and or impressed to see him wipe out his whole family in one swoop, it was actually all just a daydream.
What the hell is wrong with you? You've been staring at that old man Halloween costume for 30 minutes.
Even if it was all in his head, Stewie's hypothetical plan to get back at his entire family is pretty dang brutal, and more than deserving of being on this list. Thought crimes aren't a crime just yet, but letting someone die is, which is exactly what he did to his child psychologist in Send in Stewie, Please.
Send in Stewie, please.
Oh, I can go in now? Oh, fantastic. He's ready.
So Stewie's being psychoanalyzed by a psychologist after he pushed a kid. But two can play that game, and Stewie offers his own evaluation of the doctor himself.
And every time you glance at this picture, you wonder, how long before he leaves me?
Fine speech.
It's too bad that a 5-minute long rant gets overshadowed by one simple observation from the doctor.
You seem like a very lonely little boy.
Oh my god, I am!
And from there, Dr. Pritchfield digs deeper into Stewie, unearthing an insecurity that causes him to build an entire facade of a personality.
This is how I talk. The accent is nothing more than an affectation, a coat of armor to get me through the day.
I feel like I'm Moses speaking to the burning bush that's showing me the truth. If I had hair, it'd probably turn gray from this revelation too. So the doctors help Stewie find his authentic self, like everyone else, but that's not really what Stewie wants.
I want to remain what I've always been. Superior, brilliant, special.
Yes, you're a special little boy, Stewie. Don't know how to use a toilet, but can build nuclear warheads. Special indeed. And when Dr. Pritchfield starts to have a heart attack, Stewie realizes the doctor was the only one who has seen the real Stewie.
Is this because I made you wait?
It's because I can't have anyone know the real me. And so you must die.
Man, some people take their LARPing and role-playing really seriously. And with that, Stewie heartlessly lets the good doctor die.
This is how you leave me.
Sorry.
You know, I don't think he's sorry. Not one bit. And he definitely wasn't sorry for what he did to Brian when he didn't have his money in Patriot games.
Care to place a wager? Tomorrow night on Fox's Celebrity Boxing, I've got Carol Channing beating Mike Tyson in 3 rounds.
So Brian puts down $50 on Stewie's wager, but it ends up being the upset of the century.
I don't believe this. I just lost a $50 bet.
That's why you never bet against old people. They've got nothing to lose and decades of being angry at everything to fuel them. But when Stewie comes to collect, Brian doesn't have his money.
Here's a suggestion. Have the money by tomorrow and there won't be any problems.
Huh?
Yeah, 24 hours.
Okay, in hindsight, this whole thing is kinda on Stewie for not taking the cash up front, but I suppose he thought Brian was good for it. I bet he's never felt better to be wrong. And when 24 hours pass and Brian still doesn't have the money, well, I guess he's only got himself to blame.
That's good, OJ. Yeah, that hurt? That hurt?
What the hell?
No, I think people bleed from their eyes when they're just in tip-top health. So in case Brian hasn't gotten the picture, Stewie gently reminds him of what needs to happen.
You got till 5 o'clock. You hear me? You got till 5 o'clock.
You freaking psychopath!
But you know who's the real psychopath? Someone who takes that kind of beating and doesn't give Stewie what he wants.
Morning. Good day to you, sir. Hey, wait a minute, what the hell?
So one golf club, 2 bullets to the knees, and a flamethrower later, the message seems to finally get through Brian's skull.
Alright, let's go to the bank.
See, that wasn't so hard, was it? Honestly, the most shocking thing about this whole ordeal is that Brian even has $50 to his name. This probably isn't the most brutal thing Stewie's done, but it's so iconic and is perhaps one of the first times the world learned that Stewie isn't a baby you want to mess with. Know of any other Savage Stewie moments we missed? Let us know down in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the Sweaty Clam channel if you haven't already.